Hey guys, I'm Renzo Mox, and welcome back to another mock review. Now, it's been a while since I've reviewed another mock, and I really do apologize about that. I'm hoping to get back on to the mocking block pretty soon. In fact, I've been making a lot of mocks, but I haven't been reviewing them, since it always seems like so much of a chore to make a mock review. But now it's not, and this is kind of a necessity, so here it is. This is my contest entry for Bionic Kasai's contest, the Legacy of Light contest, to make your own villain. Basically, he challenged everyone to make a villain for Legacy of Light, and the winners will actually be in Legacy of Light. Alright, so I made one. And his name is Bachurus. Kind of sounds weird, but let's just get onto the actual mock itself. So the name is pretty work in progress. I don't know. Bachurus just kind of sounds weird, but it's something different, and I just decided to go with it. So definitely the name and his backstory are in very work in progress. I barely have any of his story done. The basic idea here is that he is the initial idea was that he is the spirit form of Kulta, but that doesn't make any sense. So I kind of made it so that he didn't have a story. So his story, he doesn't have a backstory. He's practically a nameless mock. Even Bachurus, I don't really like the name of Bachurus, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So, while building this guy, I decided to make him reminiscent of Kulta, Skullgrinder, because Kasai really likes Kulta. So, that was definitely one of my first priorities, and while building him, I also had a few different characters in mind. There's a character in the COD Season 2 teaser trailer that never actually made it to fruition, whatever one, that never actually made it in. It's a sort of long-armed, long-legged K2SO guy, some sort of robot man. And he's not in COD, so it's not a spoiler. I kind of based it off of that with the really long limbs, and I based it a lot off of Kulta, so the actual build is more towards Kulta. So as you can see, the color scheme here, yeah, there's actually a couple different colors going on here. So there's, the main color would definitely be gunmetal? No, the main color is definitely neon green. You can see it's literally everywhere on him. He's riddled with it, which is fine, because that's kind of the idea. Then he's got a lot of gunmetal on him, too. So he's got the gunmetal. The gunmetal is probably his armor. He's got these pieces, which I actually think turned out really well. He does have a black armor pad back here, but that was just to cover it up and make it look less gappy. He actually does have a gear function. So, and since he's got Kulta's gearbox with extra gears added, it's really good for friction. So, yeah, lots of articulation with this guy. You can get him in a lot of different poses. I had a lot of fun making this guy. So, you can see, yeah, just lots of different poses. I know it kind of looks lazy. I'm not the best when it comes to posing. Oops, almost knocked down the camera there. But I did have a lot of fun while making him, and you can kind of see that in his build. He's got a lot of quirky designs. I especially like the brain stock, which is all trans green, neon green. And the fact that LEGO gave us this option in 2016 was freaking phenomenal, because you can get some really genuinely creepy sort of things. Like, look at that. That looks really haunting, I think. He is tall. I'll do a size comparison with Kulta in a little bit, because obviously those two would be the characters to compare. However, Kulta actually, so he's built off of Kulta. I'm pretty sure his body is almost exactly the same as Kulta. He has a little cone piece in neon green right there. It's just to kind of fill out that area. But Kulta has a huge gap in between his chest. So what I did was I kind of filled it up with some ball joints and stuff, and some random Technic stuff, and it actually looks pretty decent, I think. Not only that, but the neck has a friction extender, so it just raises the neck a little bit more, which works well, I think. it, I didn't want his neck to be too sunken in like Kulta. I wanted him to have his very featured, defined neck, because he's not Kulta. He's this completely different dude who has like green energy swirling around him. He's got really long arms. That was kind of one of my goals. I wanted to give him long arms with articulated fingers. I love this technique for making hands so much. I use it on practically every mock ever. Let's see here. I covered up the back legs. I think that worked out pretty well, actually, because without those, it just looks really bad. I gave him some spikes all throughout his body. He's got some weird little toe things going on there. I don't really know what that's all about, but hey, I think it kind of looks cool. He's got, as you can see, I put like studs everywhere on this guy. He's got them in his legs, and he's even got them in his arms and stuff. So, yeah, I like his horns too. I think the horns look really neat. I like using Borak eyes as horns, and I think that looks really cool. It's kind of like a mix between his Kulta and Lava Beast a little bit. But I like posing this guy, and he's kind of a fun figure to play around with, so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have much else to say. Let's move on to the size comparison. So right off the bat, I want to mention that Kasai's version of Kulta is very different from the actual set Kulta. I'm pretty sure he's taller and has a custom build, so, yeah, it's not really a good comparison to compare these two. If I was trying to make a, COD comparison or whatever. But I don't have Kasai's version of Kulta built. I can't build it. I can't build it. Sorry. But you get the idea. He's very tall and very imposing. I can see him actually being a very good revamp for Kulta. If I replaced all the colors with neon green with orange, I honestly might try that, because that sounds really cool actually. So I don't know. I might do that another time. But if this guy isn't used or doesn't win, then I'll do that. So yeah, it's definitely a very bigger, imposing version of Kulta. You can definitely see the resemblance, but at the same time, you can also kind of see, oh frick, guy is on a completely different level, and I like that. I think he's really big, really imposing. So yeah, that's about it for that. While I hate the name Bachurus and is definitely not his final name, again, tell me what you think, but I absolutely despise that name the more I say it. I like the mock. I'm not going to go around gloating like, oh, I did really good and I should definitely deserve to win. No. I think it's a good mock for me, per se. For my standards of mocking. I don't make good mocks too much. I'm usually stuck to making pretty crappy mocks. So, yeah. But I like this guy. I think he's got a little bit of a... I like his presence. I like how big he is, and I don't think the limbs are too off. I think the legs are long, but I think the arms kind of help counter that out, and his body is big, but it's not... And I didn't have to beef it up, to fit with, to make it bigger than Kulta. I think the body actually works out really well, and it's just fun to pose this guy. Maybe he doesn't look like it because I haven't really been demonstrating it in the video, but I really do like posing this guy. Like, he's really fun to pose. I usually like to, I put him in a lot of action poses like this, so yeah. I definitely get a COD vibe from him, and if he was in COD, or Legacy of Light, I could totally see him being in that. So that was the purpose all along, just to try to see if I could make a villain who could fit with Kasai's universe and fit with something that he could potentially build. Because I'm good friends with Kasai. I know how he mocks and stuff like that. So I'm taking hints from that. This isn't usually a mock that I would make on a regular day, but I actually really do like him. So yeah, I want to thank Kasai personally for kind of bringing me back into mocking about Bionicle stuff, because ever since I canceled my series Chronicles of Okoto, there's not much I can mock anymore, especially G2 related. So this contest is definitely what I needed, because G2 mocking is just kind of pointless because I got no series about G2. But yeah, thank you so much, Kasai. And I'm glad to have entered. I'm really excited to see where this all goes. I don't think I'll win, but if I do, that will be really cool. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, goodbye.